Hey, my friends. All right, we are jumping in here. I am just going to make sure this is going into the group because that's my job. Yes, okay, it's in there. It's a few minutes behind in there and it's doing like the countdown. That's fine. That's fine. I like that for it. So let's dive into today, my friends, because I'm going to say something to you that coaches do not want to hear. And my friends, the real reason that I got to figure out where to look. I got like 3 different cameras going on it right here. This is where I'm looking. Okay. The real reason that client building slows down is not because we need another strategy or we need something that's better than what we currently do. And so let's talk about it because I'm going to just right up front, here's what keeps you from having the client building you want to have is that we abandon the one thing that actually works. Here's what I mean. So before we jump in, tell me in the chat what kind of business you are building right now. Are you a health coach, a life coach, a business coach, a VA, a service provider? Maybe you have an online course. Tell me in the chat what you have. So even if you're catching the replay, just drop it in there. So here's what I want you to know. If you are a Christian coach, an entrepreneur, that wants to stop the roller coaster of the up and down clients and you're ready to be fully booked, maybe you dream of a wait list of just dreamboat clients, right? Dreamboat. Remember, I haven't said that in a long time. Remember, or even better yet, like you want to feel like back in control, like you know what you're doing to create them. And I know the coloring's weird. I'm working on my new camera and I haven't got the coloring part down. It looks great on the camera, but then when I stream it, it's like this weird pink to it. It just is what it is today. So here's the thing, because what I see all the time is that when client building slows down, the very first instinct is to assume something has gone wrong, right? So we start to adjust things. And maybe we think maybe our offer needs tweaking, our niche, our messaging, or we just need a whole new strategy. What I'm doing is not working. I'm not visible enough, whatever it is, right? And so before long, we have changed things. Maybe we've changed like 5 things in our business. But the problem with that is every time we change that path to creating clients, it resets our momentum. Does that make sense? And then we have to start building all over again. So does anyone else feel, let me get that. I cannot tell if there's anyone joining us live, and there usually is. There's usually 4 or 5 of you on live with me. So I'm going to pull it up on my phone. So just comment when you come in. That way I can tell what's happening. It's finicky technology. Last week it just dropped. I had to do 2 different things. But anyway, does anyone else feel like your clients come in waves? Like you're rocking along. You're like, yeah, I got this down. And, there's no ceiling to what we're going to accomplish. And then it changes. It just dries up out of nowhere. And you're like, what just happened? Like this was going great. If that's you, my friend, type wave. Just type wave. Like we ride the waves. Okay. Clients come in, it feels good, it slows down, it's what happens. So here's what I want to tell you though, is that moment, I had this, and I think I wrote a post about it. I don't know if I posted it or not, but that moment when someone says something like, and you're trying so hard to keep your expression neutral. You're like, don't make a face, don't make a face, don't make a face. Like you're just trying. And really all the time you're thinking, are you serious? Like, what is wrong with you? And I had that happen to me. One time I had this coach say to me, well, if you just need more clients, just go sign more clients. Go get some. And I'm like, go get some? Like I just order that at the store, go get some. That didn't even make sense to me. And I know my face made a reaction. And be honest, like, would you? Like what? Drop in the emoji in the comment section. Hi, Lauren. What emoji would you make when someone just says, yeah, just go get more. You need more clients, just go get more. Because I remember being like, what is wrong with you? Like nobody thinks like that. Nobody just go get some. I wouldn't be in your program if I could just go get some. I just remember that so clearly. It was crazy to me. And I thought this is so easy for her because she had this big, huge podcast, millions of downloads, that kind of thing, this big audience, 100,000 people on her email list. So people did just come to her. Like she didn't have to do the same things that the small business owner has to do. Right? The rest of us, we have to work, we have to be visible, we have to get attention, right? We have to do other things. And she was not in that place, right? Does that feel familiar? Does that feel familiar? Say yes in the comments if it feels familiar. And I was stuck there for a bit. And then a friend helped me out, and she was in the same program with me. And we started talking one day, and she's asked me a few questions. And then she's like, first she started like, well, how did you sign your last 5 clients? And I told her. And then she goes, okay, when you had that first 30K quarter, 10K months, that kind of thing, how'd you do that? And I told her. And I was like, okay. She's like, all right, are you still doing that? And I was like, not exactly. And she's like, what do you mean? And it wasn't exact, right? Oh yeah, Lauren, I don't have my glasses on, Lauren. Yeah, they're not always falling out of the sky. But I just had this moment, and I was just like, then why'd you stop doing that? That's what she asked me. And so I told her, I had run another event. And one of the ways I love to create clients is events. I love cameras. I love being on events. It's fun for me. And I had ran another one, changed the theme, and it didn't convert as well. It converted just less. And then the next quarter, I ran another big event, and it had more signups, but it had less conversions. And it just kind of went like that, where it just was a little like wonky, wobbly. And so she's like, so your topic wasn't the same? No. Was your audience the same? Not really. Was the time of the year the same? No. Was this the same? Was that the same? And we just went through all these different things. And I was like, nope. And I realized over the course of like a year and a half, I had really changed what had been working for me pretty consistently. It had changed. I had changed how I had these 6 months of just clients rolling in the door, or 8 months, or whatever it was. Now, that I'm not saying it didn't sign clients. I'm saying it just didn't happen the way it had happened at once upon a time, right? And so I was really like, okay, what am I doing here? Lauren, I'm gonna have to put my glasses on. All right, my friends, just comment. If you're on YouTube, I will see yours on the screen. If you're commenting there, just comment there. But those in the Facebook group, you can comment. Sometimes consistent. Sometimes sometimes we're very consistent. Sometimes we'll go with the flow, and that's normal. That is normal. So here's what I will say too: is when this started happening for me, I realized I had to change some things. Here's the big aha I had, and this is where I'm going to take you guys today. I did not have this moment where I realized this is like, here's the magic strategy. I had this moment where I realized I did not need anything new. I did not need a new strategy. I did not need more visibility. I did not need anything new. I did not need more content. What I needed was to repeat what worked over and over until I trusted it, until I had refined it, until it was mastered. Back when I was teaching, and tell me if you are a teacher in the chat, tell me, just say I was a teacher, right? Like, and this I think will really hit. If you're a teacher, if you homeschool or any of those things, you'll know this. Back when I taught, we called them we'd spiral the skills all year long. Like, I didn't just teach subject and predicate 1 week in October and like, hope you caught it. Like, I spiraled it because by the end of the year, the kids had it. They could read it, they could write it, they could teach it, they could do something with it. It was spiraled, it was mastered. I needed that in my business. So what I didn't need was this constant reinvention, this constant starting over, this constant, I say tweaking, but really it's this constantly just pivoting everything. It was a simple, repeatable client building action that I needed to be doing. All right, so let's get into like, that's the meat of this. Yep. Lauren's like, yep. So this is exactly what you're a former teacher. I felt like you were, Lauren. I felt like you were. We've had this conversation, but it's been years. So, okay. I kept changing the strategy that I had proof of it worked. I literally had $30,000 quarters from it. And the problem was not my effort. It wasn't that I was crazy. It wasn't that I was lazy. The problem was not the strategy. It worked. The problem is I kept abandoning this path that actually created clients. It was a quiet, subtle, hear me here, friends, quiet, subtle self-sabotage. So that was me, just these constantly changing of events. So let's talk about this let's talk about what might be self-sabotaging or how you might be self-sabotaging. Okay. So, and you can just give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if you do this. That I think it's real. Number one, you change the plan the moment things get quiet. You're like, things feel a little slow. I didn't get as many signups this time. I didn't do this. This didn't happen. So I might need to look at the offer. Maybe it was too pricey. Maybe my messaging needs to be tweaked. Maybe I need to do a different type of event. Maybe I need to do something new. Maybe I need to do a different content marketing strategy. Maybe I need to do reels. Maybe I need to be on Instagram. Maybe I. Okay. That is self-sabotage. When things get quiet, if we look to start changing everything, it is a subtle way we self-sabotage. So give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. You do this or you don't, right? And I'll be honest, friends, I can do that just like this. I can be just like this. I can do it. Here's what happens. The silence makes us nervous. It does, because we start thinking and questioning all the things, right? So yeah. Number two, you hide behind working the business. I have clients that do this so well. Instead of doing the things that create clients, they do things that keep them busy. Posting. This is I'm going to run that event. I'm going to start having all these conversations that bring in clients. But first, I need to get all my content for the next month written. But first, I need to reorganize my Facebook group. But first, I need to write this email sequence that's going to go through this funnel. But first, I need to's. Okay. That's what this is. We're working on the business instead of doing the client creating activities. No shade, my friend, but it is a subtle self-sabotage, right? And go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you do this, or a number two, whichever is easiest for you to type. I had a client once. She was in network marketing, and so she was building the business side of it as well as selling the products. And so she came to me one month. She's like, "Look, since I started working with you, I am selling products like crazy, but I'm not getting the team building." And I think we were like on month 2 of working together. And I said, okay, we've been working on this, and this, and we listed things we've been working on. And I said, let's go back and look at all your calls to action for the last month. We did this. Want to know why her products were selling and not her team building? all her business related content were calls to actions to the products. They were not calls to action to join her team, right? So she wasn't even making the offers. She wasn't doing the client creating things for that, right? So that's what I mean by that. Like if we are doing behind the scenes things, or we're just doing the wrong client creating actions, never making the offer, it can be a problem. So thumbs up or thumbs down. Do you do that? Okay. Number 3, you know what has worked before, but you don't repeat it long enough for it to compound. So this is that idea that the more you do something, the more the results compound, right? And that's exactly what we want for it. So maybe you're like, okay, I know when I like here, if you're on the YouTube with me, or if you're on the Facebook group, this is where like, I know when I go live, things happen. I know when I host events, my events are phenomenal, y'all. My events are so good because I love them. I was a teacher, like I thrive in them. It works. Maybe for you, it's like, you know what, for me, I just need to have conversations. That could be in the DMs. It could be in like just regular Zooms or phone calls or whatever. Like you thrive there. But it's, if we don't do it enough, it never compounds. Like if you only hold one event every year, you may not see the same results. Like we're not all like, who's it I think of that does his big event in the summer? James Wedfield, you know what I'm talking about? James Wedfield, I think is his name. I just had a moment. He has this big thing every summer. Like he does one annual event. Well, the man's got millions and millions of downloads on his podcast. He can do that. But the rest of us, We have to do it a little different. We have to repeat it enough for it to compound, for it to build up, right? So instead of running it again and again, what do? We go, oh, well, that didn't work. That worked great. Let me change something on it, instead of doing it again and just these micro things to really refine it. And I remember having a coach one time say, just, find what works and then reflect and refine. And it took me years to kind of catch on to what she meant by that. Right? It's like we see something that works great, and then we're like, you know what? I'm going to try this different. That works so good. I'm going to change all my slides. I'm going to build a whole different type of event, and it's gone. And you're like, what happened? Well, you changed everything, sis. That's what happened. And I say that because Mama's done it. Lauren's like, 3. Yep, I've done that. We have. We do. Maybe we don't do all these, but we might do some of them. Okay, and the fourth one, this one is sneaky. Okay, this one is sneaky. The fourth one, friends, is when it goes quiet, we start questioning everything, right? And it kind of goes with one of these but this is when we're like, maybe God doesn't really want me doing this. Maybe God wants me to close this program and open up that other one. Maybe God wants me over there on YouTube. Maybe God wants me doing TikToks, or, you know what? I saw that YouTube video of whatever type of marketing, and maybe that's what I should be doing. This is not working like I should. Maybe I should close my Facebook group. Maybe I should do this. And we start having, what happened? Oh my gosh. Am I back? Okay. Can you see me? There we go. There we go. Coming back. I don't know. Okay, I think I'm back. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you what, me and technology, we just have to come to Jesus meeting. Me and technology are going to have a come to Jesus meeting, because this is like last week. Crazy things happening. Not having it. Fourth one, sneaky. I forgot where I was, but here's basically what it is. When things go quiet, we start to question everything. We start doubting everything. So maybe our offer's wrong. Maybe it's our messaging. Maybe the market's changed, and maybe clients are not created through relationship anymore. Maybe I need to run ads. Like all that kind of stuff starts popping up, right? So instead of staying the course and letting momentum start to compound, we start adjusting everything. We start rethinking the plan. This is what I did. This is that story I told you at the beginning, right? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Have you done it? That's number 3. Yeah, we've done it. We all know we've done it. That's why we're here. That's why you're still on this, because you have too, right? Let's just be real honest. So let's be honest for a minute. Have you ever changed your strategy that was working? And I want to invite you, say yes in the comments, or, just say yes if it's you. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, yes, I have done that. Yes, I have done that. Yes, I've done it so much. I've done it so much more than I want to even admit. more than I should. Yes, Lauren, I am back. Thank you for checking. Thank you. Okay. So the shift for me was sticking to one primary way of creating clients. It was not about intensity. It was not how long I was working. It was not how hard I was working, or even like how much content I put out, or how visible or how active everything was. That was not it. You know what I think happened? I think my camera was running off battery and not plugged in. My brain's trying to figure out what happened to my camera issues a second ago. Sorry. But what I needed was, I needed that consistent strategy implementation, that client building habit. And here's what I'm gonna call it a driver. So it was like driver, the one primary way of creating clients, that one primary driver. It drives you towards clients, that created the conversations for me, that created clients, right? That's kind of how I go. Like, that driver could be an event. That driver could be live videos. It could be content. It could be your blog. I have a client who runs a blog. I have a client who does email only. Like, there's different ways that you can, one that runs ads. There's different drivers that bring us to the conversion conversation. And that conversion conversation can look different for different people, but it's basically some type of client creating driver to a conversion conversation to a client, right? So once I had that clearly outlined for myself and I stayed with it, everything changed. The problem is because I bet I can tell you right here, like if I say, hey, right now, do you know exactly how you can create your next clients, what path to take, what primary driver, what you like to do? And you might say, Angela, I like to hold events, or Angela, I like to have conversations in the DMs, or Angela, I want consults. I want to be booking consults and having these Zoom consults with people and talking about it. Like no one comes into my program without talking to me. Right. That's kind of how it works. And so, or maybe you're like, yeah, I just want email, or I'm ready to run ads, whatever it is, right? Your one primary thing. And I bet you could tell me if you know it, just drop it in there. Just drop it in the chat. Like, this is how I create clients. I like to host events. I like to I've had clients who do like monthly webinars. I have clients who do like quarterly workshops. I have clients who run ads. There's all these options, but we need just one that works. We don't have to do it all. This is how you actually can compound and make more money, is you don't do it all. Right? So go ahead and drop that in there. Good. Yeah, we've tried many. Like we want it. So once you have your primary driver, that one activity, it's really easy. Right? And so I'll invite you, just drop it in the chat. I've got lost on my notes. That is not the hard part. You already know it. You already know it. You don't need any support for that. The problem we have is once we know our primary driver, the real work is in becoming the woman that can run that driver, that path consistently without self-sabotaging the moment things get uncomfortable. The woman who can steward that strategy, basically. So how do we become a woman who can hold to the strategy, who can steward the strategy? This is the meat right here, my friends. This is why you're going to be glad you came today. Where am I on time? I can't stay too much longer. I'm going to go quick, and I'll tell you why. Because I do a program in our church. I participate in a program where we deliver like diapers and things like that to new moms and stuff. And I've got appointments today to help other people, so I'm excited about that. I'm new to it, so that I'm not trying to brag. I'm just excited because it's new to me. All right. So how do we stop self-sabotaging? How do we become the woman? That's what we're doing. How do we become the woman? Let me focus. Number one, you stop chasing novelty. Okay. You stop chasing novelty. You stop saying, ooh, what else could I try? Or, ooh, that sounds like a good idea. Just because you watched a YouTube video does not mean you need to implement anything, even if it sounded great. You put it into your idea book and you save it for the next quarter. And it's you plan it ahead of time before you implement something new. That's number one thing I stop all my clients to do. If it's not on our plan for that quarter, it doesn't happen that quarter. Okay. Right. There's no more of this, how can I do it better right now kind of thing. Now, this is not the same thing as system refining. Like, I'll explain that in a minute. This is not the same thing as like, you just got to build up a skill. I mean, just because you saw a YouTube video that says you should be on TikTok doing XYZ and you're like, you know what, I'm getting on TikTok, and that is not anywhere in your plan, and it is not your primary way of creating clients. Now you're just dividing your attention and keeping things from compounding. That's what that is. All right. Second thing we do is we build the way we become a woman that can steward this strategy and keep that one thing going until it compounds. And we actually have like that fully booked program, waiting list, the whole thing, right? Is we build the habit of conversations, conversion conversations, or whatever it is. This is not hoping clients appear. This is knowing that whatever path you take, if it's events, lives, DMs, consults, whatever path you take, no more shiny object, is that it's going to lead to some type of conversion conversation or conversion opportunity for you to make offers and things like that. And this is about you become the woman who learns how to do that. You become the woman that builds that skill. It's a skill. It's practice. And you have to get in the habit of doing it. If it means the habit of being in the DMs every day, or the habit of going live, or the habit of sending an email, I don't know. I don't know what it means for each person. Their primary driver could be different. So it could be different things, but it's building the habit around it. And it's something, friends, as simple as like you host that consult, and then you get your coach or someone or something, or chat or something, to look at the transcript of it and to see why it converted or why it didn't. It's building the skill. Third thing. Oh, are you ready for this one? This is the one. No, this is the one. This is the reason people hire me. This is the one people hire me for, because they don't do it themselves. People don't do it. You know the driver. Like, you already know how to go create a client. You just don't do it, right? So, or you don't do it as like you could. The third thing is you have to learn to sit still through quiet weeks. Because that's where most people go shiny object. That's where most people go, let me change something. And when you don't know how to sit still through quiet weeks, you are self-sabotaging your business. You are keeping your revenue low. You are keeping yourself from being fully booked. You run the driver for a little while. You host the live, you run the event, you do the conversations or whatever. And then there gets to be this stretch where things get a little quiet. And no one books that week. No one raises their hand. Last week you had 20 conversations in the DMs going, and people emailing, asking questions. And this week, nothing's happening. And so your brain goes, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong. That's the moment people panic and assume something needs to be changed. That's what has to stop. Momentum hasn't began to build. It hasn't started to compound. You are finding the rhythm. And there's always going to be gaps in that. Think about it like a symphony. I don't know if any of you have kids who play, or if you played in band or symphonies growing up, but we would have these moments where it crescendos, it's growing, and then it stops and there's quiet. And then it starts back with just a simple little flute playing, right? That's what business does. And we have to learn to live inside of that and let it be okay. The women who build predictable, consistent clients are not the ones who never experience quiet weeks. They have them too. They just don't abandon everything during those times. They've become a woman who can accept when things get quiet, and they can continue running their driver. Even when it's quiet, they continue doing the strategy. They continue hosting the lives. They continue, and here's what I mean by this. Like, I had a webinar one time. I ran ads to it, had all these things signed up. All these people signed up for the webinar. And what ended up happening, I think what happened, no one came. And what I think happened is that I was on a different Zoom link than they got. And I never realized it. It was a month later or something before I realized it. It was a long time. No one showed up. You know what I did? I ran that webinar. I recorded it. That's what I'm talking about. I sent out the replay. I still sold from the replay, right? They keep going. So let's normalize this for a minute. Like, everyone here has weeks where it is completely quiet, and then life gets in the way, and you're like, I didn't even sit down at my desk in the last 3 days. That's the quiet week. If you ever had a quiet week, just say quiet. Just say quiet. We all have. And here's what I do want to throw in real quick is, and maybe you're thinking, Angela, but what if my driver's events and my events are not converting? Or what if my driver's DMs and my DMs don't convert, or my consults don't convert? This is a really good question. So you do not keep running the same broken event forever, or running the same DM strategy forever if it's not working. But what you don't abandon is the driver. You don't abandon events, but that's not the question. What it is what part of that needs to be refined? What part of that do you need to build a skill? What part of that do you need to learn something about? That's the other part. That's where someone outside, we can't always see it ourselves, right? That's where our coach goes, hold up. look at this part. This is where, let's work on this. And it's just skill needs to be developed. Sometimes that's what happens. And if we never stay long enough to master the skill or the strategy that actually creates the clients, we will never have the momentum or the compounding momentum. That's when you're never fully booked. That's when you're like, should I go get that side job? Okay. Quick check-in. Would it help you if you could see clearly your client path? Would it help? Just say yes if it would. Here's what I'm going to invite you to. I do have a free challenge coming up. It's going to be, I'm hosting Clients Like Clockwork Challenge. It's the end of March. It's the end of March. I'm like, oh, when was the date? I don't remember. Here. Hold on. Clients Like Clockwork. I don't have my glasses on. March 30th, the week of March 30th. Isn't that crazy? See, anybody can have a business. It's 4 focus days where we're going to go deep into exactly what we talked about today. No more tactics, no more strategies. This is about helping you identify your primary client driver, the one activity that actually creates conversations, consults, potential conversion experiences for you. Okay. And then we're going to build the path that turns those experiences into conversions. Because clients don't come from doing more. It comes from converting things, right? And then we'll look at, okay, day 1, let me just dive into it. Day 1, unique secret of giving clients like clockwork. We're going to understand why clients do not come from doing more and uncover the hidden gap, slowing down your client building and what actually creates momentum month after month. Day 2, we're going to do unique path to consistent clients. And we're going to, what actually is essential to create them and identify your client building actions that you need to run each day, each week to be making that happen. Day 3, we're going to look at why we fail and when we know what to do, why do we fail? We're going to see exactly why most coaches pivot right before momentum builds. We're like, right, they're on the edge and something changes, and how to stop doing that. We'll go deeper into how to be the woman that stewards it and stop building that self-sabotage. And day 4 is the repeatable clients on demand strategy, where we'll actually look at like, here's the strategy to do this over and over kind of thing. So it's the pinned comments there. You can sign up. So here's what I want to invite. If you are thinking, I don't have time for another thing, I get it. And that's why I designed this the way I did. Each session is less than 30 minutes. That's my goal. 4 days, 30 minutes. We are not a room full of newbies. We are a room full of women who have businesses, clients, kids, responsibilities, the whole thing. So this is focused. It's not fluff. It's no wandering around for half an hour. This is not some stupid, let's play a game and get to know each other kind of thing. This is not team building. It's not something that can be put in an email. You give me 30 minutes for 4 days and we can make a lot of progress in your building, in your business. So if what resonated for you today hit the mark, then the week of March 30th, this starts. You want to register. It's the pinned comment. And I will drop it. I will come back and drop it as well in the caption. So when you register, that's how you will get the reminders. That's how you will get the workbook, that kind of stuff. That's my invitation to you, my friend. Come, it's going to be good. And we're going to host it here in the group, and it's going to be free. Easy peasy. The replays will be up, I think, for 5 days or so. Okay. All right. Remember, my friend, you are strong. You are courageous. Not because your numbers are up, not because results are here or there, because the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Okay. Now go with God and work your business. All right, my friend. You guys have a great day.